Hey, this is Sean with the Prepared Homestead. I wanted to talk to you today about comfrey and all the different uses of comfrey. We grow a lot of it here. It's one of our favorite plants because of its versatility, because of its multiple functions. So let's take a look at this. This comfrey is doing wonderfully. It's beautiful. Late May here in North Idaho, 2,700 feet. We're in zone 6B, 5 really. And then of course we always tell people to plant zone 4 or better up here, but if you want to be technical, we're 6B. So this comfrey is doing really well. It's sitting here about 3.5 feet tall, 4 feet tall, something like that. It is a Bocking variety. This is Bocking 14, and it's a wonderful plant. It's a great, we're sitting here in our food forest, and it's all over the place here. And one of the reasons we grow it is because it's fodder for animals. And we run probably 300 pounds worth of meat through our food forest each year in ducks, chickens, and turkeys. Okay, so we give access to our poultry to the food forest. And of course, we manage that disturbance. We don't want too much disturbance, but some disturbance is good, and so this becomes fodder. Our chickens, our goats, our sheep, they'll all eat comfrey as well. So it's a very versatile plant in that regard. It's also a mulch maker. So we will chop this down a couple times a year, 2 to 3 times up here in North Idaho, and then we'll use that as mulch. And what happens is that the accumulation of nutrients in this plant, because of its deep root system, ends up being in the leaves themselves. So what we do is we use it as a mulch. So we chop and drop it, cover it around our plants, and then that nutrient cycling goes back into the other plants. And so we're not coming up here with Dr. Earth's fertilizer on all of our plants. Nothing wrong with Dr. Earth's, but we try and use natural and biological fertilizers as much as possible. The other thing is it has these wonderful, beautiful purple flowers, and it's a very good attractor for bees and other beneficial insects. So we love it for that reason too. So besides fodder, mulch, the dynamic accumulation, and the attractant of pollinators, it is also a very good medicinal. So there's a lot of different things. I mean, the comfrey is known as bone knit and everything else, and that's probably a whole separate video on its own, but it has great medicinal uses as well. So for all those reasons, we grow a lot of comfrey. Now, I said it earlier, it's a Bocking variety, which means that it's actually sterile. So in other words, when it goes to seed, that seed, it doesn't spread a lot, because I hear a lot when I give lectures or presentations, and inevitably when I talk about comfrey, I'll get at least one in every class. You plant that on purpose? Yes, we do. We absolutely do. But if you are worried about it spreading, you can get a Bocking variety, and yes, it will spread by rhizome, and the root cuttings, it will spread that way, but it will not spread by seed. So it's very controllable. And even if you had the officinalis, you could plant it in an area. If it was a perennial area, it would be simple and easy to control. Yeah, if you're going to plant officinalis, it's right next to a bunch of annual crops and you're going to be tilling and all that kind of stuff, yes, it's going to spread a lot. But other than that, in fact, you can see, if you can see right here, we got a bee sitting on the flower right there. All goodness. So we love that. In fact, I'll put a link on where we get our comfrey. We get our comfrey from Marsh Creek Farmstead. Their stuff is wonderful. In fact, this is an example of it, and we've got it all over the place. So very reasonably priced, and good folks. So there you go. We've got comfrey with a bee on it right now. It's standing tall. We're going to chop and drop this thing soon, actually, and get our first cutting from this, along with all of our other comfrey. Now, I have to mention that we just had our grand opening, or we have it pretty much right now, for Huckleberry Mountain Homestead and Breakfast. So you can find that online. We'll put a link to that as well. And you can come see this for yourself, and we'll walk through this food forest and talk about all the different groupings of plants and how this ecological analog works. All right, so thanks again, and once again, this is Sean from the Prepared Homestead.